All right, we're here with Sorin of House Markov. 2 mana, 1/4, lifelink extort. You don't see extort too often. Extort is you pay black or white, so like an Orzhov mana, and you steal a life from all your opponents. So in multiplayer, normal EDH, this would steal 3 life on an extort, and then immediately flip. So that you don't have access to that, right? In normal EDH, there's 3 opponents. You extort for the first time, you steal 3 life right then and there. That is huge. That's huge. You only have 1 opponent, so you're only stealing 1 with the extort, which makes not only this way worse, the extort that is, it's a lot harder to flip it. Now, I'm not saying it's harder because there's not like cards to do it. There's plenty of cards. I'll go over some of them later to actually flip it. But now that you've committed a bunch of cards in your deck to flipping it instead of simply extorting, your deck looks fundamentally different. So when you gain 3 or more life, this flips. That's why the extort matters. And when it flips into that. +2 is gain a food token. The minus is you hit something for the amount of life you've gained. So if you've gained like 10 life, just slam your opponent in the face for 10. It's kind of like the Ajani's flip, except instead of creature count, it's life gain. And then the -6 is gain. I didn't even read it. Gain control of a creature, and it has lifelink and all that jazz. Mainly interested in smashing someone in the face for a bunch of life gain that I've gained. There's an enchantment that does that, right? It's like Sanguine Bond. Your opponent loses life equal to the amount of life you've gained. And this is kind of just like that on the -1, except this is a 2-drop, and then can reasonably flip pretty fast. You can probably run Sanguine Bond. I'm just not running it because it's a 5 mana spell that doesn't do really anything the turn you play it, and it feels a little too low impact. But if I do notice that I'm gaining a lot of life and wish it was in play, I could probably run it. But for now, I'm not. I'm running Necropotence and Black Market. If we are gaining a bunch of life, it's safe to reason that we can probably go ahead and pay a bunch of life. So Sorin doesn't care what your life total is. It just cares that you're increasing it sometimes. I have Sarah Ascendant in here. I would be surprised if I ever get to 30 or more life. There's a lot of things that attack you that make this not a reality. And if I'm paying life a bunch, that also makes this kind of difficult to accomplish. But I'm willing to try it. A bunch of things that gain exactly 3 life is ideal, so a random card like this, right? If it didn't draw a card, I don't think I would like this, but it does draw a card. It's like a 3 mana scry 2 draw 1. So what is that? A Serum Visions? A Preordain? It's like a Preordain that gains 3 life. Okay. Sure. So anything that is in that caliber, we're running it. Limbus, Golden Egg, all that jazz. Revitalize. I remember playing Revitalize in Standard in like blue-white control era. This card, I just like it. It's funny. I mean, it's not really the greatest thing to do it for 2 mana, but it flips Sorin, So just a bunch of stuff like that. Obviously, Overwhelming Splendor. We're not a Mana Rock deck. I do have Celestius in here. It does gain life and can sometimes discard a big creature if I have Reanimate, right? So I kind of like this for, that kind of class. But if I do need Mana Rocks, I'll have to make room for them, which should be kind of miserable. I don't know if I have room for that. I'm not doing a Creature Soul Sisters style Sorin deck. That is probably the most go-to strategy in my head. I would assume people flock to just play the Soul Sisters, which we've seen 1,000 times, just like Soul Warden, everything that cares about Soul Warden, the Angel package, anything that gains life. You just play all those creatures. Your deck is like 65 creatures. I'm just not doing that because I am heavily biased towards the less creatures, the better. The more interested I am in playing it. And I love black-white control kind of things, so I'm not really going creature heavy at all. So few creatures that Heliod is questionable, but who knows? Maybe I do find myself with a devotion, and maybe I find myself with something to give lifelink over and over. I don't know, it's still worth it to try. If not, then it can go bye-bye car. Lyra and Baneslayer are pretty neat cards, you know, I guess. They have lifelink and they're kind of scary. I don't know, they're just worse than like Nadu, and Nadu is half the mana cost, but they're on theme, so I'm gonna try those for now. Obviously Edgar, there's no way I'm playing a black-white deck without Edgar. And yeah, that's it. So we try to gain increments of 3 life at minimum, and then flip Sorin, and then harass our opponent with Sorin. You don't even have to -1 it, you can just keep making food and sort of extort if you have leftover mana. I can't imagine that's too common though. But you get the gist. Like, comment, subscribe, let's send it. I guess so. Dark Ritual is interesting. Nothing super exciting to go with it though, it's kind of not great. Turn 1 Celestius is pretty solid though. I'm not really upset. I mean, Dark Ritualing any 3-mana card is just good, so I'm not really upset with that. Shield Druid on 2 is also good. Maybe it's better to just Dark Ritual now, though. Celestius. It gives me more of a reasonable curve. I'm going to just go all in. I don't know. Whatever. Going all in. Okay, now I kind of don't want to go all in. My opponent didn't do anything, which is no surprise. It doesn't have flash. So I can bait Dark Ritual and then just... Okay. I have multiple things to do, so I'm not upset with this. I'm just not going to cast Shield Druid. Okay, never mind. They did also annihilate my white source, which is a little bit less funny. All this tempo is kind of adorable, but I think it's pretty beatable. Still have to actually kill me. And perfect removal spell. Excellent. Alright. Do I play this, or do I play... I think I'm just playing this. More mana is better, especially with these cards, alright. Well, that's horrible. There goes my Sudden Edict. But maybe I have access to a reasonable 4-drop now. That won't just immediately perish. It could be a bounce spell. Most likely Fatal Push. But it could be a bounce spell. Like Unsummon or something. It would kind of track. Alright. It's probably Fatal Push. It is literally Fatal Push. Great. More perfection. The block, I mean, I might as well block, because there's no reason. The zombie's going to die anyways, so I can't keep Shield Druid around. Not sure what my next turn looks like. When you get the zombie, your end step. Alright, well, eventually they'll run out of perfect answers. What do we play now? Sorin? Kembal is interesting because they have played nothing but like non-creatures, but I don't know if Kembal is sitting there doing that much good. What's the alternative? I don't really have much of an alternative other than making a token and then this dying to combat, so I feel like this is my only option. The Edict is also completely useless. I might as well just play this, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because my opponent has infinitely spawning zombies. Okay. I feel like I'm not losing this race, but we'll see. This sudden edict's looking terrible. This is why I don't like edicts. Every time I have an edict, it just looks like it's the worst card in the universe. Every time I have one. Sorin isn't doing anything if I flip it. Maybe I just play this Sorin and plus it. I don't even really like making a token here. It's so incredibly likely to not work, but I mean, okay, at least it forces an issue out of my opponent. I'm sending it. Like, if Sorin dies, fine, but like, I guess this is fine. I don't know. Opponent found a land? Okay. Block, edict. Okay, well, they can't do anything about this in response, so let's see what they sacrifice. Sorin being alive is way more important than killing Jadar. Also, I might lose power. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I am totally fine with that happening. I'm actually kind of surprised that just happened. Okay, well, obviously resolving this is way better than doing anything else, so I'm gonna do that. I actually like the Virtue more than anything. Alright, we have card engines, and my opponent has no board state in a blue-black creature deck, so we are way ahead right now. And again, it doesn't feel like I really need Sorin, but it's pretty easy to flip it at this point. Maybe the Wrath is not that useful right now. Oh, sweet! Seeker of the Way. Look at that. Sorin also seems to die quite often. It's hard to even, like, get Sorin to do anything when everyone's just constantly killing him. Edgar is interesting, but so is Reanimate. I think I'll just take the Edgar, though. Alright, I'm willing to cast this. Have I gained... I'm trying to think. I don't think I've gained life yet, so I have to do more than Radiant Fountain, which is fine. I have it in Candy Trail. It should trigger the... Oh, this is instant or sorcery. It's Magecraft. It's not just prowess. So I'd have to pay 1 here, and I guess that's fine? Both of these are decent. Circuit Mender probably not, but obviously Wormcoil is good here. And I can play this. My removal is sorcery speed anyways. I'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe my opponent does something wild right now. They're slowly and painfully holding priority, so I don't really know what it looks like. I'm going to make a food token. I think hiding behind a potential -6, it's just another serious threat because they're at such a high life total. The minus doesn't feel exciting. So the worst they can do is make Brazenbauer, and that would kill Sorin the Mirthless. I think that's kind of fine, though. Opponent held an unbelievable amount of priority throughout my entire turn to then just do nothing with it. I like my whole hand, and I like the top card of my library, so I'm not going to do anything. I don't really know... Is this... I mean, it doesn't seem like the kind of deck that likes River's Rebuke. But, I don't know. I never played against it before. Oh, okay, sure. I assume we plus it? Yeah, right, okay. So... I have a lot of options here, and I like all of them. Let's, wait. Do this first. Do this first so they don't draw when I take care of a creature with the Virtue. We're at 6, so my opponent literally has to block or they die. See if they're aware of that. They're not aware of it. Alright, so I gained more life, and then they didn't block it, so, yeah. They needed to block this, because this would do more damage. This is a Gix player that didn't have a 1-drop. Didn't even know that was possible. Oh, they don't have a 2-drop either. It's kind of... doesn't make sense. Okay, well, I literally have... Well, you know what? Maybe I just play this, because I'm just going to reprobate Gix and probably be fine. They draw 1 card, and then maybe I'm just fine. Opponent draws a land. I don't believe they had a land. Yeah, I think they didn't have a land. I think I'll just play Circuit Mender. See where that takes me. It's an interesting amount of mana rocks and stuff out of a deck that just plays 1-drops. Like, imagine these were just 1/1s and 2/2 mana creatures. It'd be kind of fine. It's kind of weird. They also didn't block with the Butterfly Swarm. It does have Death Touch. It's interesting. I think I'm going to plus it. The food is probably valuable against a deck that's trying to kill me with damage. And a lot of their creatures are on the smaller end. I don't really like just blasting this with Sorin. And if they're committed to attacking Sorin, they're not attacking me. And that is a unyieldingly large amount of life that I will proceed to gain over the course of this game. So let's play this, and then leave up Swords to Plowshares, so my opponent can't play Magic, I guess. Ophiomancer's a little annoying, but I can kind of deal with that. Sure. I think I would have killed the Seeker of the Way. I guess not. Oh, I drew a land, but I can't play it. Maybe they have a second removal spell. They're not willing to dump that. I guess that makes sense. I guess I'm not willing to make a move then. Just let it take the damage. Nothing seems worth dealing with. Ophiomancer's probably worth dealing with. But now they have a second Death Touch creature. The Seeker's never really attacking. I might as well commit this. And I'll take out this. It'll be a problem as the game proceeds if I don't. I mean, the snake will just continue. Let's make it not continue, shall we? So I can use it to poke things, but again, it's gaining so much loyalty. I think my opponent's busy dealing with it. I'm fine with them just constantly trying to deal with it. I don't think this is getting better for my opponent as time goes on. That's totally fine. Deadly cover-up. Alright, that's unfortunate. Oh, wait. No, it isn't. What am I talking about? Okay. That's odd. This is just a 1-2-3 kind of deck, so... Must have some kind of reanimate... Okay, I was about to say. It must have some kind of reanimate spell, otherwise... What are you doing? So, I can deal with that, and then I can... kill the token. Let's deal with their commander. Should be 3, makes sense. And then play tap land? Sure, because I'm not going to spend mana doing anything else. I would like my opponents to play their commander and swing at my face, so I'm not going... Oh, wow, okay. That's kind of nuts to me. I thought they'd play Gix, poke face, and okay, well, never mind. They found something that is categorically better than Gix. I don't really know if Gix ever expects to get to 6 mana, but opponent sure did have a 6-drop. Oh, I wanted to wait to end step, huh? Yeah, I guess I did. Oh no, they kept this. They're keeping the removal spell. That is kind of interesting, huh? Okay, let's play... Really? I'm kind of curious about that. Alright. Same as last time. Let's poke that. I don't really know if I would ever keep the Infernal Grasp. I don't know. This game does not look like you have the time to keep Infernal Grasp. That is wild. Like, now you're just playing your commander and not doing anything, and I can immediately kill it with Sorin and then recast Sorin if I want to do that. I don't think I do. Can play this. Yeah, I was about to say, I think keeping that removal spell doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. In the situation, maybe they just need an answer. If I ever do have a big scary creature, they're going to need to make it not exist, obviously. Yep, there's that. Always on turn 1. Sure, can probably keep that. My life gain is somewhat relevant as well. I really don't want to see a second creature. I mean, technically that's a second creature. So, in this spot, if I played that, it'd take 4, do that. I guess I'm not doing anything, huh? What if I do that 4? Okay. I think I can just take 4. Is this opponent? Okay, my opponent decided not to cast their commander, so they must have a spell that kills Sorin here? Nope. Just another effect of the same thing. We can swing for 1 free point of life. I might as well. I'm not going to flip Sorin right now. I need to not die to their commander. And I suppose this is free? I don't think I'm going to make a move right now. So if they cast their commander, I want to kill... Do I want to kill their commander? Or do I just kill the things around it? Okay, they're yet again not committing their commander. Kind of incredibly surprising, actually. Sure, alright, just yet another effect of the same thing. Let's kill the one that is the most free to do things. Davriel can kill another one. I can even swing with Sarah Ascendant because they're not going to block it. Although, maybe not because it gains a lot of life just sitting there. Let's just do this then. And I think I'm going to deal with one of their things here. And it's probably going to be the one that is slightly easier to do things against me. So if they commit the Guardian Idol attack, I'll just block it. If they swing with both, I'll trade. Davriel's plus is kind of useless against them, though. So they might not even care about it. Alright, never mind. It's just completely free to deal with it. Why not? Of course it is. So if I flip Sorin, it really better deal with that Goldspan Dragon. So this needs to be pretty good. That is a pretty good draw. I think I'm swinging with both? I don't have to. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, alright. And then kill Goldspan, excuse me, Goldspan Dragon. So we got it at 4. Opponent has that. Okay, that just makes some stuff. Oh, alright, never mind. Well, that was abysmal. It was unbelievably bad. Whatever. I just don't have a choice now. I think this stays alive, which is a huge problem, but it's all I've got. I missed an extort trigger too. Okay, it does die, excuse me. It does die. I could have extorted for 1 there. Okay, I will just chump block if they don't swing with both. They do. I will block this. I think this is an excellent trade for me. Famous last words. Okay. Let's, I don't know, bank on top decking a land. That matters. Tapped. Okay. Of course, I don't draw a land. I can't crack one of these and gain life right now, so... Wormcoil is very good against them, though, obviously. The One Ring is interesting, but it could be very dangerous. I'm not gonna... Okay, I really want lands. Liliana is not good against their Guardian Idol. Just not gonna keep that. Let's draw a card this way. Do I play it? Yes, I think that's fine. Wow, I actually broke 30. I legit could have had a Sarah Ascendant, right? I'm actually above 30 against a mono red deck. Okay, Wormcoil Engine is a massive problem for my opponent. My opponent also just didn't cast their commander for some reason. I feel like it was completely free to do so. I don't know why they didn't do that. Very strange. Alright, good luck. They don't have nearly enough spells to flip this. Also, it doesn't actually flip into anything all that scary anyways. I think I'm going to go to combat first. No, maybe not. Maybe flipping, or trying to flip Sorin is worth it. They could have a way to deal with it. Not the most likely, but it is certainly possible. Let's see what happens. I don't know what world I don't just try to do this, so... Cut down is a good answer to the Guardian Idol. If they have a burn spell, they're just going to block. If they don't, then they're not going to block. Alright, so we gain a bunch of life. I'm probably going to deal with Urabrask instead of the... Okay, they're at 15. Is there any merit going face? I seriously doubt it. I think because I have Wormcoil, I am not worried about what my opponent can or can't do against me. This is totally fine. This card has soloed me before in this matchup. I remember now. They like played it and then just made a bajillion spells off the top and like stormed me out. But we do have Wormcoil and we're at 30, so it's not super likely. Flick a coin in a land. Okay. Okay, I wish that was Get Lost. Blow that up. And I think I'm playing Edgar here. So I don't really take 4 potentially off of the O'Hare. O'Hare. I think it's O'Hare. Axonil. Yeah, I don't think there's enough red things in the game that do it here, so... Does this exile? It does not. I was going to say, if that exiled, that would be very good right now, but it does not. Okay, so... Swing all out. No, that doesn't feel too good. I could play this and plus them all. I mean, yeah, the breakpoint is ideal against this commander right now, so sure. Do we go to 2? We do. What do I do now? Play the cat? Play the cat. And not interested in dealing with their commander, so... I have a board that is lethal. They must kill me immediately, and yeah, I don't think they can. Crazy. Yeah, I guess it was right to keep the Sarah Ascendant. I know it's kind of crazy against a mono red deck, but we dealt with the degenerate early ping spammy things against, like, once they get their commander in play, but they took a while to actually commit this. They're on the play yet again, but this time we come prepared. We come prepared. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Silly me. Whatever. I mean, this isn't as bad as the last time, I guess. Okay. I'll keep the land. 1 into 3 on the play. What do you know? Yep, very interactive. Fun and interactive. Pock with immediate value, and you can't interrupt it. Fascinating. No, this is a balanced strategy. We're totally doing the same thing, me and my opponent. How come I don't gain the life off of that? Tragic. How come I don't get to gain life? Well, I'd say Liliana the Veil is my only chance, but now it's obviously not going to do anything. Can't cut that one down. I can kill it with Liliana. I don't really know where I'm going with all of this, but okay. Reanimating Kogla is weird. I'm not gonna do it. I could use it to kill something else. I can't kill Pak, but I can kill maybe something else my opponent might want to do with reanimating it, because if I just simply reanimate it, it's not really getting me anywhere. I can reanimate Baneslayer Angel. I can also just not do that. It doesn't really feel like that gets me anywhere. Topiary Stomper. So if I take Kogla... No, whatever. How much you want to bet they have a fight effect, too, on top of everything? Kogla's not good enough. Yeah, most of these things aren't good enough. Killing Pak, or... okay. Saying the Edict, but the Edict's not even guaranteed to work anyways, so I'm just not... Oh, look at that. They have the perfect reach creature now, just to make it so my flying threat is useless. Of course. Why not? No reanimate target. Yep, this was just profoundly the best thing they could have had, huh? Whatever. I mean, maybe I can find something off the top? Of course not. This does deal with the token, but it doesn't deal with it immediately, so now my opponent just kills me with their own cards. Does this have trample? No. I can reanimate the Stomper. Block with it. Oh, wait a minute. Can I block with it? I can. Okay, I was about to say, maybe I actually cannot block with it, but I do have enough lands. So, chump the token, and then take borderline lethal. This doesn't really get me out of this, but... How do I deal... Can I deal with everything? Let's see, chump block with this. Kaya exile the token, so I'm not dead. Chump block Pak, and my opponent's in top deck mode, but technically so am I, because no card in my hand does anything, really. I can chump block for a while, though. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Can I gain enough life to maybe not need to chump block spam? You know what? I'm going to eat the relevant card in case they get stuff out of their graveyard. Maybe that just makes sense. Play this. Make a token and chump block, swing. Whatever I do just chumps, so I might as well do the chump spammy token thing. I need my opponent to, like, fizzle on the top a few too many times, maybe, for this to matter, though. Okay, I can actually deal with that. Unbelievable. Oh. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Yep, make another token. I'm probably making a token, and then I'm casting this, and now I'm going to start stealing enough life. In fact, in this turn cycle, I'm gaining enough life where I'm not one-shot. So, wow. Wow. I mean, we beat, like, the best thing ever. It was literally the best opener ever. On the play, with Utopia Sprawl, into the next turn being a Cultivate, or whatever, the new Cultivate. Wow. Into Kogla. most people would have conceded that game, and I was 2 seconds from conceding. That's completely insane. Wait, oh right. I'm like, why are they playing Command Tower? I forgot. This isn't a mono green deck. It might as well be, but it is not. Are we doing the thing? How are we not doing this? Do I plus into Oblivion? What am I getting rid of? Potion of Healing is a little weird. So is this card, actually. Sure. Look at that. How does it feel? How does it feel? Get polarized. Get polarized, Nadu. Get schmieded. Was my 1-mana card too strong for you? That's... Taste it. Oh, you taste it. I'm going to sit here for a second. I'm going to stare at this. Alright. Alright. I stared at it long enough. Yeah, I don't think I have time for more. Unfortunate. Also, I'm on the brink of losing power. It's like a crazy lightning storm and my lights are flickering. So I'm going to call it there. Power is about to explode. Okay, so this commander is, or was in this exact iteration, better than it was when it started. However, I think this commander is way better as an actual creature kind of deck, where like the clerics and angel life gain creature thing, I think is way better than this. So I'm probably going to try Sorin again, with, you know, the old 66 plus creature count, and just go in with like Soul Warden style things. But talking about this specific version of it, I did like it. Every time Sorin was relevant, it was very satisfying, right? Like making a food token and then cracking the food token and getting yourself essentially a lightning helix, right? The food token into the minus is a lightning helix. It's not a free lightning helix because you got to pay 2 mana to actually crack the food token, and it's at sorcery speed, but it's kind of satisfying. I did like doing that. It was pretty neat. I never got Obsidian in play, unfortunately. It's not really a surprise, though. It is like a awkward card sometimes. It's kind of hard to cast color-wise, too, but, you know, it would have been cool to see what it could do. Flipping Sorin was not difficult. I found it to be pretty consistent to actually flip Sorin, and it didn't feel too bad to have Sorin just kind of sitting there, because as a 1/4, it's a little annoying to deal with. Extorting is almost non-existent. It's definitely an afterthought because it's not normal EDH. Like I was saying in the beginning, you're not stealing 3 life every time you do this, so extorting for 1 is pretty bad. It's actually incredibly bad, and you never want to like play off curve to always have an extort. This format does not let you play off curve. You cannot play off curve. I have lost so many games to the opener because my opponent had a 1-drop that I either can't deal with, or it's, you know, dealing with it isn't good enough because it already did something. And then they go into a 3-drop, and if they're on the play, you've basically already lost. And green does that very efficiently, so you're not really ever playing off curve to extort. You just can't. You'll just lose the game. You just can't do that. The removal felt fine. I never really ended up casting a lot of board wipes after I put more in, so I don't know. Maybe just the first half of my play session was just heavily bajillion creatures, and nothing I did mattered. And then the second half, I just didn't really bump into any. But given this iteration, it makes sense to run that many sweepers, I think. I had Sarah Ascendant, I think, a couple games. One game, it almost actually did flip, which is really funny, and it was against that mono red deck. Yeah, it was against mono red something. So that was actually kind of interesting. I did actually like Sarah Ascendant. That was cool. Yeah, just black-white removal was fine. I don't think I ever got Necropotence in play. And yeah, no, that's about it. I actually don't have much to say about it. I like this commander. I really do. I like all black-white kind of things, though, so I'm kind of biased. But I liked everything it was doing. It was unique. I like the cards it brings to the table. It's cool to have a main deck way to gain life. So all of your black spells that are very powerful, like Underworld... I keep doing that. I'm just gonna call it Underworld Connections because apparently my brain just says that's what it says. But Black Market Connections, which I think is now actually a real card. I think this got printed on paper. It's kind of cool. This is really good here because you're not really in danger of ending your own existence because you have a lot of ways to gain life. I really, really liked that. It's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just black-white control with a life gain package, but there's an actual payoff to the life gain. It's not just gaining life and doing nothing. You know, playing a card that just gains life and doesn't do anything else, it's the worst thing ever, right? Like, oh, 2 mana gain 20. Like, I don't think I would play that card, right? I mean that's pretty strong, sort of, but there's an argument that it's not that good to just gain life, because you could be at 100 life, and your opponent could just kill you if you don't have a board state, and there's stuff like Craterhoof Behemoth anyways. So, it's cool to have a bunch of life gain and actually use it. I don't own the other Necropotents, like the new one that just got printed. I actually cracked a bunch of packs to try to get it. I am, again, a free-to-play player, but I didn't get it. But I think the other Necropotents would belong in here, which is kind of cool. I've obviously never played with it, because I, again, don't own it. So, Guide of Souls? Yeah, well, no, I don't have enough creatures. Doesn't... Oh, do I not own that either? I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, I don't own it. Ha, look at that. But yeah, I don't nearly have enough creatures for this. So no, there's no. How many creatures are in my deck? 16? No, there's no way. There's absolutely no way I'm running this. The other list that I'm talking about, that is a bunch of creatures and doing the Soul Sisters thing. Yeah, sure. Not this though. There's 16 creatures in my deck. It's never ever going to trigger. But again, that would be the second attempt at this commander, which I do plan to do, which would have a bunch of that kind of effect, like I was saying with Soul Wardens. But yeah, but this was fun. I liked it. It had a miserable first hour of just doing nothing but losing, but it started to turn the corner as I played more, and I do like it. It was kind of cool. So let me know what you thought about it. If you have ideas for this specific version of Sorin that does not involve an armada of creatures, let me know. But I will be trying a creature-centric version at some point in the future. Yep, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.